Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on Friday, September 27th? How's everyone doing? Can everyone hear me correctly? I'm a little bit under the weather, so hopefully it will be okay to do live stream. So where is everyone logging in from? I am in Houston, Texas, but where are you logging in from? All right. And I do have a small gift for all of you people who are joining the live stream, which we will talk about a little bit later. So we have Thomas from West Palm Beach, Florida. Very nice. Jim is from Qatar. Kibrai is from Houston. Hadi Razak is from Houston. I'm also from Houston. Great. Nikhil Satya from India. Great. Actually, I just came back from Portland, Oregon with the family trip. We were there for like a couple of days. It was fun, but I think on the way back I got a little bit sick. Uh, so hopefully it will take me a couple of days to get better, but we'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, a little bit about myself. My name is Mohammad Azam. I go by Azam. I am the owner, the founder of Azam Sharp School, as you can see on the website, where I publish my courses and also my workshops. And I have a lot of courses. The current course that I'm working on right now is the one from full stack e-commerce app development with swiftui Node and Postgres. So this course is currently under construction. I'm still working on it, but I release the sections as soon as I finish them. And you can see a lot of different courses over there. Apart from that, I also host live workshops. These are 3 hour live workshops over Zoom. And actually, the second one that's coming up, the next one that's coming up is Swift Data Fundamentals, and it is tomorrow. So if you are interested, you can always register for this workshop. I'll have a link right there in your YouTube chat, so you can have a link to the workshop. And there are other workshops coming up, like Introduction to Testing, and then we have Introduction to Supabase. And one of the things that you can also do is, I think one of the great things about Azam Sharp School is that you can sign up for the annual membership, which is already like $99 less, but also give you access to all the workshop for free. So that's kind of like cool that you don't have to pay like $200-300 per workshop. You can just sign up for annual member and you get all the workshops. And these prices are subject to change. And the annual price, $249, can change anytime. So, anyways, so this is what I do usually. I mean, I have a full-time job, obviously, but I'm also working on my courses also. All right. So let's start with questions. Any questions to begin with? I think there's one question. I have an app that showed text in a scroll view. When you left the view and went back, it would scroll to the text where you left off. I use JavaScript and web view using Objective-C. I don't understand the question, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't really understand what the question is in that. This more looks like a statement. Then we have a few more people joining up. Zabel2 from Netherlands. That's great. I actually will be in Netherlands in November, speaking at a Do iOS conference. If you are in the area, definitely visit Do iOS conference. It's going on in Amsterdam. Here's a link, and I'll be speaking over there. My first time in Netherlands. Where is my session? So here's my session right there. and I'll be there for number of days between um, between Netherlands and Belgium. I'll go to Belgium, I guess. Would you please tell us about the concurrency changes in iOS 18? I think the biggest concurrency changes that they have done is by introducing sendables, and how that behaves with the main actor. Now, obviously, this is a kind of like a big topic. Now, one of the things that I always recommend if you are interested in anything with async await is check out Donnie Wall's blog, and he talks about a lot about these changes. See that over here? Because it's a big topic, you can see sendable and all that stuff. So I'll have a link over here so that you can work with that. Scroll back to where you left off in the previous view. So if you want to scroll back to where you left off, I think there is something in scroll, what is that called? The scroll reader? I think it's called scroll reader or something. Scroll reader in swiftui, I think something like that. Scroll view reader, yeah. Scroll view reader is the one that you will have to use. And there is a scroll to function or dot proxy dot scroll to, and that can load to a particular thing. All right. Apart from that, check out the focus state. I wonder if you can actually do it with the focus state also. If it's focusing something, that will it actually scroll to that thing? You can definitely check it out. All right. So here's the focus state, and I think the other one that I mentioned was scroll view reader. So one or the other. I would say try with focus state. I don't know if focus state is actually going to scroll, but if that doesn't work, I don't know if it will scroll or not, but then you can definitely check out scroll view reader, and that can definitely allow you to scroll. All right. Now I know we have a couple of people over here. What are your thoughts on the job market out there for iOS developers? Is anyone have a recent experience that they want to share? Because that is also something that I'm looking. I mean, I'm not looking to change the jobs, but I am looking to get a little bit more information so I can provide to my students also that what is the status of job market. So I tried scroll view reader and it only works with rows of text, not long text. Long text, I'm not sure then. I don't know how you can scroll to the long text. I wonder if the long text is composed of many different text views and those have IDs, and maybe the scroll view can scroll to a particular ID. Maybe you can try that. Obviously, that's not a good solution. So that requires a little bit more thinking, that if you have a long text, like a lot of text, where exactly do you want to scroll in that? There have to be some placeholder somewhere in that long text that allows you to scroll. But if text is just, you know, string, then where would you and how would you put those placeholders? All right, so those placeholders have to be somewhere, I guess. So I wonder if you can add something in the text view, like maybe add a spacer or something with an ID. So embedding other controls inside the text itself so that you have different anchor points that you can scroll to. All right. Yeah, so JavaScript is obviously very different from swiftui or even iOS development. They have, I think, more mature scrolling setup that you can do or configurations that you can do. All right. All right. Any other? Yeah. So basically, I asked like if anyone has applied for jobs and how do you think the job market is for iOS developers? Because I've been hearing a lot of news about how the job market is pretty bad for iOS developers or just developers in general. And what are your thoughts on that part? Yeah, web view to work. I couldn't get the variable pushback. Are also keen doing are also keen doing Android development using Jetpack Compose. I have not done Jetpack Compose, and so I'm not sure. But there's Jetpack Compose, there's Kotlin multi-platform, there's Flutter. I've tried Flutter and I really like Flutter, but I have never worked with Jetpack Compose, the Kotlin multi-platform. Those are things that I haven't really checked out. So, but if you have experience with Jetpack Compose, I think that's pretty good because now you can build Android applications. But I think there's so many different routes you can take for building Android. Like you can use Flutter, you can use Jetpack Compose, and you can use Kotlin multi-platform. I am a C# dev, but just trying swiftui as a hobby. That's good. I mean, you should always be trying some other framework. If you're a C# dev, that's pretty good. C#. I have done C# like long time ago, probably in 2002 till 2010 even. And then I kind of moved into different direction, like doing iOS. All right. But you are in Netherlands, I think that's what you said. Are there C# developer jobs in Netherlands? Like, is that the market for C# jobs? I know it's like more enterprise level jobs if you're doing any C#. So that's for enterprise. All right. All right. Any other questions? All right. So let me share something with everyone. Uh, this course. So this is my literally I just published this course like 5 seconds ago. All right. Now this is a course for Swift language fundamentals, and it's all about Swift language itself. It's all about Swift language. So we're not it's not about Swift UI or anything like that. It's all about Swift language. And I literally just published this course like 2 seconds ago, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you access to this course, all of you who are here. Uh, Let me also share a coupon code so you can get this course for free. Coupon code. And this coupon code, which is livestream27, this will expire on Sunday. So make sure that you register for this course before Sunday, and there are limited coupons. So if you don't get it, you don't get it, but try to use that. Now this course is about it's a free course for you because you have the coupon now, right? This course is only about Swift language. So setting up the environment. So basically this is for people who have never programmed in Swift language and they want to learn. So this is the course for them. It will talk about the basics, control flow, optionals, generics, protocol, enumeration, kind of like enough so that you have some fundamental knowledge of Swift language. And then you can take some other courses that I've listed over here. You can take this course, which is also again free, Swift UI Fundamentals, beginner friendly course, and then so on. All right, so there are multiple courses on my website, azamsharp.school, that are free, and you can take these courses from there. But to use that link that I provided you in the YouTube chat and use the coupon code, which is livestream27, and you will be able to get this course completely for free. This course is for beginners, so if you have been doing iOS development, then for a long time, this is obviously not for you. But if you're a beginner, I think you might enjoy this course. It's a basic course of Swift language. All right. So hopefully you will enjoy it. My only recommendation or uh, comment is, if you like these courses that I have, then please share it on LinkedIn. Please share it on Twitter. That's all I ask. Um, you know, get the word out because I'm working very hard on these courses, and sometime I give these courses for free. So hopefully you can share it with your friends, and you can share it with other people. Okay, so Thomas is asking, if you were to hire a junior iOS developer, what skills would you want to see? So I have hired junior developers before. Um, I think the most important skill that I want to see in a junior developer, apart from a little bit of a technical skill that they can work around the problem, is just passion for learning and passion for solving problems. That's, I think, the most important skill, because they are junior developers, so obviously they're not going to be, they're still learning, but their job as a junior developer is to just absorb as much knowledge as they can. So they should be like, okay, I'll do this. I mean, even if they do it like poorly, that's fine, but they are learning. I think so. The part of lifelong learners and part where you're just learning, that is, I think, that's the most important to me. All right. So technical skills obviously are important, but not as important as the passion for learning, and not as important as your desire for learning, and always keep on improving. I think those are the very important skills. I don't really care which college that you go to. I don't care if your GPA was 4. You can go to MIT and Harvard. That doesn't impress me at all. Um, you know, you can get like whatever full marks or whatever you want. That doesn't impress me. What impressed me is, are you willing to solve problems? Are you willing to learn? And every day you're willing to learn. I think those are the important parts. So that's what I would see in a junior developer. And obviously, when the junior developer joins, we don't give them some sort of a deadline task. We give them like a task that I don't want to do. Maybe I don't want to do CSS. Maybe I don't want to do styling or some basic validation. So we'll just give it to the junior developer, see what they do with it. All right. Okay, another question in UI kit, you can send a UI kit variable to JavaScript in a web view and send the change variable back to UI kit. Can you do the same in Swift UI? I think you may be able to do that if you hook up to the UI web view. If you represent the UI web view as a UI view representable, then you can attach to those delegate functions that were exposed by UI web view, and then you'll be able to access those things. So there are some delegate functions provided by UI web view, which is UI and UI kit, and you should be able to attach to those delegate functions to get whenever something changes. So that you can do that. Your tutorials are very clear, and I'd like to thank you for such intuitive tutorial. Thank you so much. All I ask is, I mean, if you like any tutorial videos, Azam Sharp School, I mean, I have a lot of courses over here. If you like anything, just all I ask is share it on LinkedIn. That really helps. I mean, because when it's coming from you, who students who have taken the course, that actually weigh a lot. All right, and I'm trying to get into this to create more courses and be available. I mean, all of these things, workshops. I mean, workshops are actually pretty cool because they're live. So that's always good. So no Swift UI native web interaction yet, only UI kit. Yes, I don't think the Swift UI currently does not have UI web view or web view in general. You do have to use what is it called? WK WebView or something? Boy, I think I have a video on that. Let me see if I can search for it. But it should be a really old video. So WK WebView, I think that's what it's called. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty old, but I think the solution might be pretty similar. So I'm going to share this, but you might already know like how to display a web view in swiftui. So this might give you a little bit of idea. This is an old video, and you can see they do have some functions over here. Yeah, WK navigation delegate. So maybe you can attach something to it. Oops, maybe you can attach something to it, get some more idea. But that will definitely be the starting point at least. All right. Let's see over here. So I see people are already registering for the Swift language fundamental course. That's pretty good. Yeah, use the coupon code that I provided. That will give you the free course. Thank you for registering. Make sure you talk about it wherever social media that you use. That's always appreciated. All right. Any other questions? Recently, I did publish some articles that you may want to check out. Do you have a tutorial in SwiftUI and UIKit delegation interaction? I know that I do have that. Let me see if I can find it. That's the problem with finding these things. If I search for Adam Sharp UI kit with Swift UI, presenting and navigating, integrating UI kit views. If you search for this, I'm going to put the search query in the YouTube chat. Maybe it's this one, like integrating UI kit views into Swift UI. Well, that's only 4 minutes long, so that can be it. Handling Swift UI view events. Okay, there's another one called Swift UI view events, but I think you're looking for the reverse. Sending to UI kit view, passing data from displaying. I know that I have it. I think maybe I talked about it in this course, in a different course. There is one over here. Maybe that will help you. Loading UIKit map view in SwiftUI app and handle delegate methods. I think that it's not what you want, but I think that is similar thing that you want. So loading UIKit MK map view in SwiftUI app and handle delegate. So maybe that will help you a little bit. It's not exactly what you're looking for, but it's something. Also for my adamsharp.com, I publish a lot of articles. So check out these articles, communication pattern, global sheet patterns, navigation patterns, a lot of things about patterns that I've been publishing. So definitely check out this. The link is right there in your chat. All right. All right, anything else? Anyone has any interest in learning? Because that's the course that I'm building right now. Let me see over here. Full stack e-commerce app. Now this will be kind of like a long course, but I already started building it, and there are a few sections that are available. So this is the course that I'm targeting. Like you have to create the complete backend, and you have to create the Swift UI interface, the client. But I'm using JavaScript, I'm using Node, I'm using Express, SQLite, Postgres. So this is like a full stack application. It's a long way to go still, but I've completed this part at least, the registration part. But I'm not sure if there's any interest in that, but I'm still building it. It's kind of fun to build a complete app using swiftui and the actual backend in the database, Express and Node and Postgres SQL. So it's kind of fun to build these things. So that's why I'm building it, and it's quite exciting for me to build this. All right. But I know that most of the iOS developers, they just want to live in that iOS ecosystem. Question is, what is the future? And question is deleted. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think for iOS developers, it's important that you know the basics of iOS and swiftui, obviously, but I think it's also very important for you to learn backend development. And I think that is where I've seen iOS developers are usually scared of backend. They will always say, okay, I'm just going to use Supabase. I'm just going to use Firebase, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. But in this kind of economy that we are in right now, the more you know is better, because not all companies will use Supabase or Firebase. They will have their own backend. Sometimes they will have their own backend team, but sometimes they won't. Sometimes they will ask you that, hey, can you go ahead and write a backend for us? So always keep on learning. Now, which platform framework that you should use to create a backend, that's completely up to you. Um, Whichever one you're comfortable with. You can use Vapor, you can use Django, you can use Ruby on Rails. I mean, there are just so many available, right? But I think the best part is once you know one of them, you can easily jump around and learn other ones. Like a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, I wrote a small, really small backend for Python for my machine learning class in Flask, and uh, I have never used Flask, but it took me like 15 minutes because it was like the same thing. All right. All right. So another question is from Akshat Chaturvedi. What's your thought on clean architecture from iOS development purposes perspective? Clean architecture from I think that's from the book from Robert Martin. You know, we have to start thinking about architecture differently. Now, in the book, Uncle Bob or Robert Martin talks about like different layers, like you have a repository layer and a business logic layer and a UI layer and a presentation layer and the coordinators and all of this. Maybe for some application this will work, but now we are working with these uh, modern frameworks like Swift UI, React, Flutter, Jetpack, Compose, and they have a very different architecture. All right. So if you try to introduce, oh, I'm going to have like 7 different layers, repository, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create view models, I'm going to create business logic layer and validation layer and this and that, you're going to dig a hole that you will never be able to get out of that. And you will be fighting with the framework. That's what I call it. You'll be fighting with SwiftUI. You know, with clean architecture, people always talk about separation of concerns, right? Oh, the view should not be doing this, the view should not be doing this should not be doing that. But again, we have to start thinking about these things in a different way, that the separation of concern is no longer between the view and the model and the view models. The separation of concern is with how you're separating out your features. So your admin stuff can be in the admin component, your photos can be in a photos component or a view, your listing of customers will be a listing. That is how you're separating things out. That's the separation of concerns. And if you watch the documentary, React documentary, because React and SwiftUI is very similar, they will also talk about the same thing. Actually, I got it from React documentary. They talk about the same thing, is we have to start thinking about the separation of uh, concerns in a different way. We don't really want to create so many different layers that we are buried in the layers and we're just passing stuff through the layers. This might work in some other architecture, but with Swift UI and React and Flutter, uh, we have to we have to just keep it super simple. And I talked about this in one of my articles over here. It's a pretty long article. Some of you have already read it. This one, building large scale applications in swiftui. All right. So I talked about a lot of different things over here, that how you can architect your swiftui application. And when I first talked about this particular approach, and this is nothing new, by the way, it's not like I'm coming up with these things. This is straight from Apple documentation and WWDC videos, straight from there. It's not like, oh, I just invented a new pattern. I didn't do anything. I just read, I created a lot of apps, and this is the article that I wrote. And I remember in 2022 or 2000, whenever I published this article or similar articles, there was like a lot of backlash from a lot of iOS developers. I was getting messages and private messages that this is wrong, this is this. 2 years in the future, now 2024 from 2022, I see a lot of people implementing the same approach. Not even same approach, but exactly doing the same thing and abandoning their beliefs with putting different patterns or shoving different patterns into swiftui. And I think that's great for me to see, because they are at least experimenting with different things. Even Stanford University, if you look at their lecture from 2023, they are using the same exact approach that I'm using. All right. So it's kind of cool that they're, once they gain knowledge, they're at least experimenting with these things out. They're trying things out and not boxing themselves into certain patterns and practices, but always open for improvement. And that is what I discuss in this article, which I've linked there, right there in the YouTube chat. So you don't definitely have, you can definitely read about it. All right. Do you think Apple is turning off developers because you need to buy new Macs every few years when latest Xcode will require new Macs? Well, I'm using iMac 2019, I think, or 2020. I think it's 2019, 2020, one of those iMac. So it's Intel. So I cannot really create Vision Pro applications because they require silicon. Um, I don't know if they're, I mean, all the videos and all the apps that I create, I do use my iMac, so that's fine. But obviously, if I want to create a different a Vision Pro app that requires Apple Silicon, then yeah, I'm out of luck, or I have to use a different computer, I guess, a M1 or something. Um, I don't know if they're turning it off, because I think most of the people, they have updated and they have been using M1, M2, M3, whatever is out there, Apple Silicon. There are some people like me who are just hanging on to Intel. I will upgrade, but I usually upgrade when it's like absolutely necessary. So once it is absolutely necessary and the Xcode doesn't even work, then yes, I'll update. All right. Okay. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. We have a lot of things to discuss, so I'll be right back. Don't. I just have to open the door for someone. I'll be right back. All right, everyone, I'm back. Where were we? I love to learn the Rave language as we use it for our optimization system. I have no idea what Rave language is. How should iOS developer prepare themselves for increasingly cross-platform world? Compose, multi-platform, and Kotlin. Yeah, that's a good question. And I think if you learn about cross-platform, even though as an iOS developer you may not like it, you will be open for more job opportunities. I live in Houston, Texas, and Houston is not really famous for using cutting-edge technologies. So there's not much going on with respect to iOS native development. I think most of the Houston area, they're doing mostly Xamarin. There's React Native. There's not even Flutter over here. So most of them are actually doing React Native and all of those things. All right. So that's definitely when you learn Flutter, Kotlin multi-platform, and all that stuff, I think that is definitely going to increase your circle of jobs that you can apply for, which can help you. All right. Like to know how can have a view with a tab bar where we can type text inside and show it around a image or embedded PDF like line of code in swiftui. How can we have a view with a tab bar where we can type text inside and show it around the image or embedded PDF? Next is just line of. I have no idea actually. Rover RVA Morgan. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I have to look at it, I think, in a little bit more detail to find what that means. Why not more tutorial about Mac OS like navigation and tier of inspectors? It's just a demand. So why not more tutorials about Mac OS specific like navigation and tier of inspectors? I don't know what tier of inspectors are, but it's just supply and demand. There is not much demand for Mac OS tutorials. I mean, I know that there is, but not that much. And with the limited limited time that I have, I can only make you know this many amount of tutorials. Now, there is if you are interested in books about Mac OS, then here's a really good website, and it's from Sarah, however you pronounce her last name, Reichelt. So for macOS development, you can check out her books. She is quite popular to do macOS development, books on macOS development. Another question: I have an expensive Intel MacBook Pro, and it stopped macOS updating, so it can only support iOS 16. It no longer allows me to upload my apps to App Store. I find it difficult to learn new things and really apply them. Um, I mean, I guess it depends what new things that you're doing. I'm 54, too old already. No, I don't think 54 is that old. Um, I think you're always learning. I mean, I know people who are in their late 70s who are still learning these things like Superbase and all the stuff that I'm pushing out. They are still learning these things. So I don't think there's any age that is for, okay, once I reach this age, I'm going to stop learning. That's why they're called lifelong learners, that you're always learning something. Even if you're learning for like 30 minutes a day, just something new every day, I think that's going to add up. And at the end of the year, when you calculate, you have learned a lot. I'm interested in using AI to help with coding. Any opinion on that? Is that threat to instructors like yourself? I don't know if it's a threat to instructors. In my latest course, which is this one, Full Stack E, the one that I'm working on right now, I actually use a lot of um, ChatGPT to help me out because I can't really remember the syntax of everything. So I I do use that. Is it a threat to instructors? I don't think this is a threat to instructors because the reason is ChatGPT can definitely give you answers and it can also explain you the answer, but sometimes you need someone to give it a little bit more, a visual explanation and give like different examples so that you can understand. And I think not everything ChatGPT is typing is always correct, right? I mean, we have already seen that. I use ChatGPT a lot, to be really honest with you. I mean, I use it every single time I use ChatGPT, and for anything. Like here's ChatGPT. I can ask ChatGPT for anything, right? And I use it like if somebody is sitting next to me and I can just ask them any question that I want. So if I have a question, let's say, create a model for budget app with budget and expense models. I know it's kind of like English, it's all messed up, but it will give me some idea of what properties I need. I'm not going to copy paste it, but I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, I need a title, I need an ID, I need a total amount, I need expenses, and it will give me a little bit of idea of do that to how to build these things. And I can also say what will be the database relationship and create table or show as tables. I know it's all English, uh, it's all like not correct grammar English, but you can see, there we go. You see that? It's actually creating a database schema for me so that I can more visualize these things. And not even database schema, but it's also taking, um, it's actually also showing me the SQL commands so I can create these tables. So it can definitely help you with your design, but in the end, the developer has to go there and do these things. And the developer must understand what these things actually mean. I mean, if you're going to give this to um, some program manager, they have no idea what this is. What is create table? Program managers, they're good in management, but they don't know technical side of it. So it's always going to be developers who will eventually execute this thing. All right. What do you think about design pattern I missed between MVVM, TDD, and swiftui? So in um, swiftui, I don't really use classic MVVM, and I have written some articles about that. So you can definitely check out this article that I'm pasting. MVVM, although some people use it, I don't think it's mandatory or necessary. You can actually make it quite simple that you don't even have to use MVVM. And I think I'm gonna try to see if I can find those YouTube videos. Let me find out. I know I created some videos. I think it's over here somewhere. Oh, networking, I think this one. So get shareable link. So check out these videos that I have. This one, all of these videos get shareable link. So they will show you how to do networking. Get shareable link. So I'm just going to post it right there on the chat so you can have you can have access to it. I landed my first job, but feel a little stuck on such a huge code base at times, especially with analytics tickets. Any recommendation? Yeah, if you have a code base which is pretty big, right? I mean, that is always going to be hard to manage. Um, what helped me when I was working for large companies with large code base is the first thing is understanding the domain. And this is a question asked from Julian SHA Shah. And understanding the domain is, I think, the most important thing, which basically means that what is the purpose of the code that I'm typing, what is the domain that I'm working on, and how it will help the business. So if you can understand that part, then you will better understand the code that you're typing, because the code that you're typing or the code that you're looking at is solving the domain specific problems. Um, and how do you understand the domain? Well, usually developers, they don't know that much uh, about the domain itself. So you will have to find a domain expert, program manager, take them out for lunch, buy them something not less, not expensive like a sandwich, and ask them questions like, hey, what is this? Don't ask them coding questions. Obviously, they're like managers or domain experts. Ask them questions regarding the business. Like, hey, what is if you're in the medical industry, what how does a claim get processed? Oh, so it has to go through insurance. Well, how do we determine what the insurance will, you know, what cost or what will the insurance charge? How the claim gets denied? See, these are the questions that you should be more interested in. I'm giving you an example of a medical industry, but it can be any industry that you want, right? And once you understand the domain, then you will have a little bit more clear picture of the job or the code base that you're looking at. So your first job, which is I know it's a hard job, is to somehow understand the domain. All right. I have a psychology, where is it? Background. The more you learn, the easier it is to learn more. Your brain become more flexible the more you learn. Yes. And I think it's important to learn different things also. Sometime I've seen with iOS developers is they only learn iOS and they have no idea what's going on in React and Kotlin multi-platform and Flutter. It's not, I mean, I know that they're not really working actively in those languages or platform, but it's always a good idea to keep an eye on it because you can learn from it and you can implement those things in your actual platform that you're using. So those things are very important. Um, those people who are joining late, I have a gift for you. This is a course that I just published like literally 2 seconds ago, right? This is a Swift Language Fundamentals course. Swift Language Fundamentals. I literally just published it. There we go. And you can get it for free if you use the coupon code. Here's the coupon code, livestream2. Now keep in mind that this coupon will expire on Sunday. So make sure that you register for this, and it's only for people who are over here for the live stream. So you can get access to this course. This course is for beginners who are just getting started with Swift language. It does not cover Swift UI. If you want Swift UI, you can definitely check out this course. This is for Swift UI. And obviously you can check out all the courses on my website right here, azamsharp.school. But yeah, if you enroll in this course and if you take this course, if you like this course, then make sure to talk about it on Twitter or make sure to talk about it on LinkedIn or wherever. That will be very helpful. Okay. All right, let me take more questions over here. Let's see. I'm trying to. Okay. Did you have discount for regional outside of USA? I'm in Asia and $80 is pricey for the currency. I'm planning to take your brand new Node.js course. Uh, it's a Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a Node.js course, but it's a full stack course. Yeah. And it's currently under development. I think you're talking about this course right here, this one. Let me go and show it to you. So this is a brand new course. Yes, so Indra is saying that you have a discount for regional outside of USA. Yes, so what you can do is simply just DM me on Twitter I have, just DM me. That's my Twitter, Adam Sharp. Just direct message me, and I will send you something that you can use if you're uh, outside of US. Okay. And this course, by the way, is still under construction. You can see coming soon, coming soon. All of these things are coming soon. Is Apple abandoning core data in swiftui? I didn't like the implementation of core data because it was confusing. I ended up just using a library to access SQLite. Apple is moving towards Swift data, but Swift data, I think behind the scene, they use core data. So it will still be there, but now you will be using core data. I mean, sorry, Swift data. So Swift data is the future direction. So if you want to build something today, you can definitely use Swift data. Now, Swift data does have some edge cases, like it does have some problem with when you're doing transformers. Like if you're storing something like a type in the database, it does have some problem with enums. So it does have some its own set of issues, but that is definitely the future direction. All right. So if I were in your situation, I would be using Swift data. What software do you use to create your courses? I use Camtasia. For iOS developer, which could be more useful to learn backend? Flutter, KMP, or React Native? Backend, so these three technologies that you listed, Flutter, Kotlin multi-platform, or React Native, I don't think they're backend technologies. For developer, which could be useful to learn backend. If you want to learn backend, you can definitely use Vapor. I think it's called Codes. So if you want to stay in iOS ecosystem, you can learn Vapor over here. Vapor is all in Swift, and it's wow. They actually did their website. It looks really nice now. So yeah, Vapor is a great framework. I have a course on Vapor also if you are interested in that. I have to find the course. It is this one. So this is full stack iOS development course on Vapor. Right there. All right. But yeah, Vapor is one. I like Express.js. I know Express.js is a little bit old, but I like Express.js. But I like it because I teach it. So Express.js is another one. And if you want to learn backend, there's so many others, right? There's Spring Boot framework. There is Flask. You can use Ruby on Rails, ASP.NET MVC Web APIs. You can use Django. So there are so many different options that you can use. Let's see more questions over here. For swiftui, how can we have multiple navigation links or set navigation path via an action and separate links within the body of the text that span multiple lines? I don't know about the multiple lines part, but if you are looking for navigation link, I did write an article on navigation patterns, which you might find very useful. Navigation patterns in swiftui. And in this, I talk a lot about how you can get inspiration from React hooks and create these navigation patterns. So let me actually show you somewhere I'm using that. Let's see. Yeah, I think this might be, there we go. So I created like a environment value, which allows you to perform dynamic navigation using the syntax as you see on the screen is inspired from React Native, React or React Native hook called navigate. So you can do that. I would recommend that you use the most simplest approach. So this is not the simplest approach because there's a lot of code that goes behind it. And maybe this is more useful for very large applications. But if you are just building your application, just keep it simple and try to do just navigation however Apple is suggesting to use. Although this will work, but there's a lot of code you have to write to make it work. But yeah, the end result is in front of you. It will look kind of like this, which I think it looks pretty nice. But again, for simple apps, this is definitely going to be an overkill. So you don't really want to do it for simple apps. You only want to do it for, uh, you only want to do it for more complicated apps. Right? Any other question? I think we are reaching the end of the live stream. But yeah, my only request for all of you who are joining the live stream is that if you have taken any of my courses on adamsharp.school or anywhere, it's always a good idea to just, uh, you know, share it, talk about it on LinkedIn or something. Oh, by the way, you can also become an affiliate and earn 70%. I actually forgot to do that. You can become an affiliate. And I have like a lot of affiliates, so they are earning a lot of money. So if you want to become an affiliate, there's a link right there, and you can actually do that. The main challenge is I can't combine the labels of navigation links or text with have gesture with a something. Okay, yeah, so the link for the affiliate program is right there. You can become an affiliate and earn 70%. So that's actually pretty good. That's a very high amount. All right. Any other questions? Well, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, you have enjoyed it. Lots of good questions. And those people who got the coupon for the free course, once again, I'm going to share it. If you want it, you can get it for free. This is a free course on Swift language. If you are already a Swift language developer, um, then you don't really you don't really need that course because you already know Swift. For being indie dev, what do you recommend to learn and improve? um, I think indie dev, it's going to be the same thing that you're learning. I guess for indie dev, if you're pushing your apps out there, you will have to spend a lot of time also in polishing the app. So UI UX will be important. So apart from the back end and the front end and whatever you're doing, your those things will be important. Stripe payment integration. I am thinking, yeah, I will be adding Stripe payment integration, but I already have something that you can probably use. Let me give you a link for that because a long time ago I created that. Stripe payment. Yeah, so here is one of the videos. It's pretty old, it's like 2 years old. But yes, I will also be adding Stripe payment for my course. All right. So check out this video. This video is a little bit old, but hopefully it will give you a little bit more idea of how the Stripe payment actually works. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining. Hope you have enjoyed it. And I will see you hopefully next week. Once again, thank you so much. And have a great weekend.